Welcome back to Star Wars from Scratch. Let's review a little bit. So we found this chord in the very beginning, the B flats on top with the extra notes, and the B flats on the left hand. Put them all together, we've got that great opening. Okay? Now, let's go on and add the next portion. I'm going to go ahead and snip up the beginning and this a little bit more going forward. Okay? Let's copy that, and let's jump to a new page over here. Kind of stretch that out a little bit. Okay. Here we have the opening chord, and now we have a couple of extra notes over here. Notice, remember this bottom note we found was B flat? Notice how this is kind of staying on the same line. That's going to be the same note. See that? Okay. So that's going to stay there actually, the same notes over here. And let's spend a few moments finding these notes over here. Okay, instead of counting all the way down from here, I'm going to kind of leapfrog ahead a little bit. Remember, this is the F clef, okay, which means it's going to be this note over here. If you remember how we found the A is actually on that top line, right? 3 black keys, A over here. So this note is right above that A. See how I did that? Okay. So this note over here is B, but remember we have this qualifier that all B's must be lowered. So this is going to be another B flat over here. So that's a B flat. This is a B flat. So we have B flats here and a B flat here. Okay? Now, there are 3 parts to a note when we're drawing notes. There's the note head, which tells us where the note is being played. Then we have what's called a note stem. And then sometimes we'll have beams. In the case of these 2 notes over here, we have 2 beams connecting those 2 notes. In the case of this note over here, we don't have any beams. We just have the stem. What that tells me, either the presence of stem or the presence of beams, that tells me how fast or how slow the notes are. This note over here is slow. These, if you have 1 beam, it's fast. If you have 2 beams, it's very fast. So these notes over here are very fast. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to play them fast, and then we're going to stop on that 3rd note. Now, I'm going to teach you a little trick just to kind of play them faster. You don't have to do it this way, but if you want to have a little bit of a challenge, we're going to have some fun. To play it super fast, we're going to use a kind of a top secret fingering. Instead of using the same finger 3 times, like a 1, 1, 1. Oh, excuse me. I kind of jump ahead of myself. I keep assuming that that folks might know things that they may not. We've gone ahead. We've named our notes A through G. We've gone ahead and we've identified where to find those notes. Now let's just take a quick second to identify our fingers. For fingers, we identify our fingers by numbers. We start counting by 1 over here with our thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the same thing's going to happen with the left hand, counting from 1 with the thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So, playing that opening chord, you kind of, not many choices to use because we're using almost all our fingers. 1, 2, 3, and we'll use a 5 to play that top note here. See how that works? Now, we could play these 3 notes with the thumb 3 times if we wanted to. But I'm going to teach you something a little fancy. You don't have to do it this way, but if you like, it gives you the potential for greater speed. I'm going to use a 3 and a 2 and a 1 in the right hand. And so what that's going to do is I'm going to be forced to switch very quickly. 3, 2, 1. See what I'm doing? 3, 2, 1. And if I do this right, I can learn to play this really fast. Here's a little tip. When you're playing notes very fast, a lot of people when they play the piano the first time, they'll flatten out their fingers. That's the equivalent of trying to run around with, have you ever seen people when they're scuba diving, they have those long flippers that they put on top of their feet? They're fine for swimming, but they're horrible for running. If you've got big, flat clown feet, you really can't run very fast. And that's kind of the equivalent if you have flat fingers. It makes for a very clumsy playing fast. Sometimes we use flat fingers, but not right now. So what I recommend is that you try to curve your fingers. If this is the top of the key, try to curve your fingers so that you're playing as close to the tip for these 4 fingers here. The thumb will stay on its side, okay? But try to stay on the tip of the fingers as much as you can. So here we go. Tip of the fingers, 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to catch on the side of the thumb for that. Just practice it. Another tip for you is don't move your hand around too much, but see if you can kind of aim for the same spot on the key with all 3 fingers. Okay? Now we're going to do the same set of fingers for the left hand. We're going to use 3, 2, 1 on these 3 B flats as well. So 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Again, try to aim for the same spot here. Okay? Again, if it's too hard, stick with 1, 1, 1. That'll be just fine. But if you want a little bit of a challenge, try that. And then put your hands together, both hands, starting with 3s. 3, 2, 1. It's kind of fun. Give it a try. It's a little challenge for you. See how fast you can play those 3 notes. Okay? So combine one more time the opening chord and the 3, 2, 1. Okay? Notice the right hand stays in the same place because it's the same note in the bottom here. But the left hand has to travel from here to here. Okay? So from this B flat to the next B flat up here, the left hand's going to have to move. 3, 2, 1. Okay? So practice that a couple of times. Okay? Great. I'll see you at the next lesson.